Most people study for the cloud certification the wrong way. They try to memorize terms, they try to collect features, they try to remember every tool name. But the exam is not the really testing memory, it's testing judgment. The most important shift is this. Certification questions do not reward the most complex architecture. They reward the safest viable decision under constraints. That means your job is not to ask what sounds advanced. Your job is to ask what is the real failure and what is the smallest architecture move that fix it. Some answers will sound clever, but they can still be wrong. They may solve the wrong problem. They may ignore the real failure boundary. Or they may use a large system where a small control would be stronger. So, in this course, the best answer means this. Fix the root risk with the least unnecessary machinery. That is the exam mindset. The exam questions are multi-choice. Each question has one correct answer and several incorrect answers. These incorrect answers are called distractors. And distractors are not stupid answers. That's why they work. A disruptor often sounds reasonable. So, your job is to rank the options, not just recognize the vocabulary. If a question is unanswered, it is scored as incorrect. There is no extra penalty for guessing. So, during the exam, you should answer every question. The result is pass or failure. The reported score is scaled from 100 to 1000. The minimal passing score is 720. But the useful takeaway is not the scoring formula. The useful takeaway is this. Every question is the best answer ranking problem. The content is organized around 5 major domains. Domain 1 is agentic architecture, and this is about how agents systems are designed, controlled, coordinated, and stopped. Domain 2 is tool decision and modern context protocol integration. This is about tool boundaries, tool constraints, external capabilities, and how Claude connects to systems. Domain 3 is Claude code configuration and workflows. This is about repository instructions, development with permissions, context, and team usage. Domain 4 is prompt engineering and structured output. This is about instructions, examples, formats, schemas, and output reliability. Domain 5 is context management and reliability. That's about the Claude can see what it forgets, where the system can fail, and when escalation is needed. Use these domains to guide your study time. Start with the weighted domains, then adjust based on your mistakes. If you repeatedly miss tool boundary questions, tool decision gets more time. If you repeatedly miss context loss questions, context management gets more time. If you repeatedly miss escalation questions, reliability gets more time. Your misses tell you, whereas the exam is exposing weak judgment. The exam is scenario-based. That matter. But scenario questions asks, giving the system these constraints, this failure, and these answer choices. What should you do next? That is much harder skill. The scenario families includes support agents, code workflows, multi-agent research, developer productivity, continuous integration, and continuous delivery reviews, and structured extraction. This is why poor vocabulary study is not enough. Inside a scenario, first task is to identify the system failure. Is the failure loop control? Is it tool selection? Is it team configuration? Is it schema enforcement? Is it context loss? Is it escalations? Once you know the failure layer, the correct answer becomes much easier to rank. So use the answer framework. First, what failed? Second, which layer owns the failure? Which lever fixes that layer most directly? Fifth, which tempting answer solves the wrong problem? The key word is lever. If the failure is loop termination, the lever is response state control. If the failure is wrong tool selection, the lever is tool boundary decision. If the failure is inconsistent team behavior, the lever is shared repository configuration. If the failure is invalid extraction output, the lever is enforcement plus validation feedback. If the failure is missing information, the lever may be retrieval, clarification, or escalation. Do not fix a control failure with more words. Do not fix a boundary failure with more tools. Do not fix missing information failure with more retries. Distractors are dangerous because they are plausible. More prompting can help when the criteria are vague, but it is weak when deterministic enforcement is required. More tools can help when capability is missing, but it hurts when the real problems is overlapping tools. More retries can help with transient failures, but retries are wrong for permission failures, policy failures, or missing information failures. A large context window can help when the system lacks relevant information, but it does not fix bad routing, bad permissions, or bad tool contracts. The exam is not asking you to name the best capability. It's asking you to choose a product-safe architecture move. Sometimes the stronger answer is boring. A simple guardrail, a clear tool contract, a validation step, a shared configuration file, a human escalation rule. These can be stronger than a larger system because they fix the real risk directly. Now let us walk through the ranking pattern. An agent loop checks whether the assistant text says done. Sometimes the loop continues incorrectly. This is an example of a question. The wiki answer is tell the assistant to say done more consistently. That sounds reasonable, but it doesn't own the failure. The stronger architecture answer wrote the response state such as stop, reason. Why? Because the failure is loop control, and loop control should not depend on fragile text matching. So the ranking is first direct state control, then much lower, stronger instructions, then again much lower, larger context windows, then lower again, adding more tools. These alternatives may help in other scenarios, but they do not own this failure. Do not ask only, is this answer true? Ask, is this answer the safest direct fix for this extract failure? Open the exam preparation assets in the download pack. Every quiz or mock pass, open the domain waiting study sheet. Do not just count your score. Study the pattern of your misses. Keep the exam answers framework nearby while reviewing rationales. For every wrong answer, write down 3 things. What failed? Which layer owned the failure? Distractor tempted you. Then use the domain coverage map to see what this course covers directly and what you still need to study on your own. In the next lesson, we move from exam mindset into the architecture workflow. Architecture decision records, trade-off memos, and risk notes. These are the tools we will use to explain not just which answer is correct, but why it is the best answer. This is the difference between studying Claude and thinking like a Claude architect.